Welcome everybody to the officers meeting of March 28, 2024. David Boaz, please give us a roll call.
David Boas here, Patricia Capuzzo,
Here.
Dominic,
Here.
Joanne,
I'm here.
Fausto.
Here.
And that's it. Stewart,
Absent.
and we have three guests, Bobby Levin, Maureen Debeguer, and Ruth Drees.
Please go over the minutes that are in your package. And when we're ready, we'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented, unless there's adjustments that need to be made or corrections. Patricia made a motion to accept, seconded by Dominic. I saw him raise his hand. All right. Minutes will be approved. Thank you, Joanne. All right. All right. I'm gonna go out of order. I'm going to ask Joanne to give us a treasurer's report.
Well, I have some things to pass around. I have two items that I would like the officers to consider. If you would take one of each and pass them around. I will briefly let you know what I'm showing. I have met with and or talked to all the finance committee appointees, and I would like to suggest. And for the record, I'm just gonna read them.
Hang on one second, one thing, please.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have done this.
They're passing them around.
Okay, so everybody? Okay, what I would like is for someone to make a motion to accept the committee members as presented, and I wanted to read them into the record. Laura Richard, Paulette Burdick, Tony Burrows, Cookie Courier, Dave Fornes, Richard Hinglesmith, Suzanne Saranac, Julia Silver, and Michael Zaslin. I would, is this in? Finance?
That's for the finance.
Yeah. The officers must approve any member of the finance committee, and I would request that somebody make a motion. If this is okay with everybody, so that we can discuss and then.
Let me ask the officers, if you review that list, does anybody have any issues with any names that are on that list?
I don't know, because he's on Tom Burrows.
Tony.
Dennis is why.
Dennis.
And Cookie Courier.
From Gulf's Edge.
Oh, they're Cookie, okay. Sorry.
Laura Bedford, is she on the second?
Finance committee.
On the finance committee?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was just asking.
Julius is from Plymouth.
So,
Does anybody have any objections to any of these people? So I would like to have an officer make a motion to accept the committee members as presented. Dominic Carnaja makes
make a motion.
to accept it, Patricia seconds it. Are we all in favor? You have your
But
committee.
let's put it on record.
Oh, okay, all right,
Let's put it on record.
all right. Okay.
Don't think we should skip those.
No.
Motion made by Dominic Carnaja
To accept
to accept,
finance committee members.
right, seconded by Patricia Caputo. No. The finance committee is the only committee that will be something. The plan was very specific.
Dominic? Okay. I'm ready to call it if you want, so.
Call it,
Fausto,
yes.
Patricia,
Yes.
Dominic. Yes. David, yes. Joanne. Yes. Motion passes.
Okay. You have your committee. Good luck.
That was the first item. I then have a second sheet that I passed around to everyone. The majority of our money are both our operating funds that we use every day to pay our bills, and we collect all of the dues into that account, those accounts are in Truist. And half of our reserves as of this moment are in Truist. The other half will be there within the next, I think we've got another couple of days left, no later than next Friday. We will have all, both the reserves and the operating funds in Truist. Now we can decide what to do about the cash that we've gotten, how we can manage it. My very first suggestion is in talking to our account manager. I have an email from her that says we can also offer a money market at 4.25. What we have our cash in right now are non-interest bearing cash accounts, not money markets. Money markets are just another checking account. They're not any different. The only thing is they have, I think, a $5,000 minimum deposit. What I'm suggesting is that we immediately take $235,000, put it in the money market in our bank. We're not moving it anywhere, we're not doing anything, we're just making it worth a little bit. And because of FDIC, we can't do any more than that at this time, but we could immediately start taking advantage of the 4.25 offer, which would yield $832 a month or just under 10,000 annually. As opposed to the cost that we have for carrying these other accounts. In other words, by closing one account, we're saving $80 by consolidating things. So this is a positive move that we can make immediately. As I read the bylaws, because we're not going anywhere and doing anything, we're simply managing the cash that we have on hand. I don't believe I need approval or a vote. If anyone has any comment, I would be glad to hear it. But it's more a case of I'd like the officers to be informed, and if anyone sees a reason not to make $800 a month on something that costs us nothing, has no risk to it, the money is 100% available to us at all times, and this is reserved money that we're not likely to need to touch. So that's just, of the $11 million, it's a little tiny bit that I would like to just immediately start doing. So about 30, within the next 30 days, so that that's where I got the first 30 days. I found all the money and I would like to just immediately start making a little bit. In the next 30 days, I would like to look at money market rates at some of our local banks, like Citibank, like Wells Fargo, like, places that we can get to and sign papers and, not have a big inconvenience. So that's my intention for the next little bit here. And then in the next 60 days, there's a Cedars type account that Truist offers, and this is what our account manager sent to us. And what I'd like to do is make a proposal to keep the money at Truist and have them distribute it to all of the various banks in the country under Truist, not Merrill Lynch, as we were initially told by our old regime that they wanted to go to a brokerage. I do not recommend that we use a brokerage. I would like to keep everything under our local control here. And these rates vary week to week. I want to bring Sebastian back, and this is where I would like very much to be using him. I was hoping to get a letter of engagement today and have Sebastian make a proposal, but he's knee deep in tax season right now.
Right.
So I gotta, as soon as he has a few minutes, we kicked him out of here 4 years ago. I can't really make demands on the man at this moment. I would really like him to come back, and I know he does want to. But at the moment, I have to be a little patient. So I'm saying in the next 60 days after tax season, after he comes in, we'll maybe have a special meeting to get the officers to agree to bring him back. Then we'll start talking about things like this Cedars rate at Truist, maybe there's another Cedars rate in another local bank, and we can bring that to the delegate assembly at that time as appropriate. So this is just for information purposes, I needed your vote, thank you very much for the committee, but this is. Unless anyone has any objection, I'm gonna go ahead and move a little bit of money in Truist and we can take care of that in a minute. Tomorrow, Monday, or no, not tomorrow, Monday probably.
Joanne, would you like a vote on this? Or-
I mean, if you would like to, I think it's probably, I would appreciate it,
Do you need a motion first?
Well, before we put a vote on it, I would like for you to put onto the record
Mhm.
that you have established that we have a contact person that's in charge of our financial at Truist Bank that you've been in touch with.
Yes.
And you're working with that individual.
Yes, aside from the
That's why-
local, aside from the branch, manager, the person that at corporate, she's actually she lives in Dallas, but she's remotely in charge of the, commercial markets here in South Florida, Marcy. You know, having a senior moment, her last name was somewhere, but. Yeah, Marcy, but we've been corresponding and talking on the phone and that's where I've got this information, yes, she's, you know.
So they're on the record. So to be clear, a vote is not required here, but perhaps for consensus purposes, there's no harm in it.
That's it, if someone wants to make a motion to go ahead with the 235,000,
I will make that motion. It was to move the 235,000 into.
an interest bearing money
Clearing
market.
money market account at Truist.
You wanna second that? I'll second.
Thank you.
What's the motion again?
To move 235,000, I'm paraphrasing
No,
exactly.
that's what I said.
$235,000 from our reserve account
Reserve account, I forgot to say that, that's important.
to an interest bearing money market account at Truist. To be very specific.
And
From
that is,
operating.
that is very specific.
No, from the reserve account,
Just the purposes of it. No.
Just wanna make sure that it's
Yeah.
on the record. We're not doing this on our own.
yeah, no, we're.
Okay.
It's 100% above board.
What do you know?
We're having something done correctly.
Yep.
Patricia and Fausto?
Yes.
Yes.
David, yes. Patricia,
Yes.
Fausto,
Yes.
Joanne,
Yes.
Dominic. Yes. Stuart is absent. No problem.
Okay, well, thank you. We will take care of that and I'll report back. to you next one.
Thank you for jumping on that right away.
Well, if we have this page here.
Okay, I'm gonna go to Donald's report.
Hello, everyone. Real quick, before I go through my report, there is a agenda item here, PVC traffic plan. As I look through, the wrong plan has been attached to the agenda package. This is the drainage plan that Dominic is currently reviewing and will be on the agenda of the next bids committee. On the traffic plan, we are waiting for an answer to a question that was put yesterday. The plan that you shouldn't be looking at today shows a change to directional arrows on the exit lane coming out of Havertide Hill Road, onto Havertide Hill Road. There's a question on whether that's going to be a straight only lane or a straight or left turn lane. And I haven't got an answer back yet, so I'm gonna ask that we just put this off and once we get a definitive answer, we can call a quick emergency meeting with the officers to take care of it. All right, but we really should answer that question before we make
I
a
agree.
decision. All right, real quick, what's going on in the village? Had some fence activity in the last few weeks, car crash into one. Bum cut a hole in another, that's been fixed. We just found another hole at the back of Gulf's Edge. And it leads to a derelict garage building on the property of Reflection Bay. Looks like there's some, we actually, Daniel just saw some movement in and out of the hole. So we're gonna get that hole fixed, even though it's not our fence, just to close it up. And I'll be contacting Reflection Bay and the police. There's definitely activity in this building, so the bump's back. Paving repairs happened this week, they were nicely done. There's another batch ready for estimate. I'm going to bid this next batch out. We'll bring in another vendor. This is something we should do very often.
Yeah, I agree.
You'll notice that Seacrest buildings are having their trees trimmed this week. Yucca trees start trimming this Friday. I've got a few that need to be removed, I got some areas that need to be cleaned out. If you look into Z Drive, you'll see the punch list. And they'll be getting on that this week and next. North Canal. We discussed the parcels along North Canal and acquiring ownership of them. At yesterday's finance meeting, it was decided that members of the finance committee would take the lead on this, take the load off of my plate. I'll be sending them the information over the weekend, and I'll oversee, shouldn't be that difficult, but I'll oversee it, make sure that they're pushing that along. Rats, created something of a stir with my rat story, and that was on purpose. I want to scare people into breaking down and getting these programs in their buildings. We did get a few combat programs put in, which was good. We did order some additional rat traps to be put along North Canal. They're going in tomorrow. And that's all I got to say about rats. This really was part of your report, Joanne, but the audit has been initiated. I believe there's an engagement letter on file.
Is that all done? I don't know,
I think we either have an engagement letter or we requested it.
yeah,
I mean, we filled out, we've already filled out the questionnaires and so the audit's on its way. It should be uneventful. Chris and Sebastian and you will go directly with he asks us what he needs.
Yeah.
We feed him. And
that's right, because it hasn't all been concluded, but it will, yeah, you're right, that's part of
we kind of,
the treasurer's job, it's in flux.
well, the treasurer,
In process, I
in this
should say.
particular thing, the treasurer did a job. All right, guys, that's all I got, unless you got something for me to work on the coming month. More questions or?
I do, Don.
Hey,
All right, we need to send some kind of correspondence via email or whatever to ABDI. As of July 1st, the permanent guest list needs to be 6. As requested by WPRF, that is, we are responsible for ABDI,
okay,
so.
yeah, we do pay the bill.
I asked that be done,
I'm gonna send this directly to Roy,
right,
and Royston,
Yeah.
he's a co-writer, so,
I understand,
yeah, I'll get that out today.
okay.
What you got?
That's it for right now, I know that you would take care of it.
That's okay.
Yes, Patricia.
Don't we also have a problem with the one entrance and exit with ABDI?
I think you're
Or
talking,
is it for the, I'm sorry, for the,
I think you're talking about the card reader.
yeah,
Yeah,
We've had some trouble with the card reader, Daniel's handling it with Access Masters. At the moment, they appear to be working.
what's access masters?
and the other thing is, I was told that the reason why we cannot print at the second computer here, gate passes, is because it's an ABDI issue. So if you can contact them and
I'll make it the same email, this is, it's a number.
Yeah.
Let's just, Roy thinks this Roy.
Yeah, I mean, our IT man says it's ABDI says it's us. They gotta get together and fix it,
Alright, done.
you know? That's it, all right, Patricia,
Excuse me,
oh, I'm sorry,
I got one now concerning the traffic. I understand you go back and forth with the emails and this and that, but I can't believe that we can't get somebody from them to have a Zoom meeting from us so they can explain to us really in layman's terms what this is, instead of trying to rely on these engineering reports and so on like that. But I can't believe that somebody within the county can't tell us exactly what that is. Doesn't have to necessarily be here, but just have a Zoom meeting, so we all understand what the guy's talking about, what the plans really are.
I already spoke to Niels about this, Dave, and I'll put it in the email as well.
All right, thank you.
anything else? All right, Patricia,
Hi, everyone, good to see you. I don't see anything other than what's the norm, people walking in the middle of the street, which I don't think we can have any control over that ever. Cutting in front of you, cutting off the cars, I don't know what we can do about that. I've not been on the car, too, they just cut you off, you know, doesn't matter, they own sit you or whatever, so. That's what I see going on, other than that. Nothing else to add right now. And that's about it.
Dominic,
Looking at the map that you were given, you can't read it, you have to wait and get it in a large one. And then it's 22 years since I drew or even read these things. And I'm looking forward to adding some ideas how we can do it without removing anything from the roadbed itself and use it on the grass and the berms and whatever. So when that happens, I'll be very, very happy to start it up again.
all right. We'll go to the Yuko report.
Oh, really?
I'm saving myself for last.
The paper will be delivered here, I guess it'll be delivered even though there's nobody here but Donald. And Saturday and Sunday, you'll have them at your buildings. It's a really nice issue, 36 pages, a lot of color, a lot of good looking ones.
Got a few rat pictures.
Maybe your rat pictures are in, half a page of rat pictures, but what's really nice is this CV artist. She did, well, she sent me pictures and I did a page of it, it's really, really attractive. And we've got the installation pictures such as they are, and we have, what was the other affair, we had the installation and some
Volunteers.
Oh, Greg Weiss is in there, but that came out nice. So you'll see it all on Saturday, and other than that, I'm working on May. Believe it or not, I've got stuff in there already, working on it every day as I get it. I have ordered the online copy of the paper, which used to go to Dave. It will now come to Fausto and to Joanne. To do
What,
what,
to CGTV, not to.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
but when I say Joanne, I have the right
CGTV,
address. And you'll do what you will with it and you'll read it, nothing for you to do, she'll put it on
Post it on
where
the
it
blog.
belongs. And other than that, unless you got something for me,
Keep up the good work.
thank you.
All right.
Just one Joe, question, the AI meeting, did you put it up on the TV? I need to ask you that the other day.
Yeah, it runs,
I would like to see it.
it's there, don't ask me.
On
how-
590?
Look at 590, it should have, there should be a notice of what channel and what time.
Oh, okay, thank you.
David Boaz.
One thing I would like to publicly mention is everyone who was involved in the election process, starting with John and Ken. They did an excellent job of getting everything set up. I also have to mention the nominations committee, which is basically Bobby Levin and Ruth Dries and Diane helping out. They did a wonderful job. And last but not least is the people who actually did the checking in, who did a wonderful job. It was a very busy time for them, very little commotion. And everybody did a great job in the election. It was a good turnout. And I want to thank all of them publicly. And that's all from my desk.
Thank you. Very good. First thing I would like to bring up, there's a vacancy. And I would like to, I've spoken to Jerry Satowski to finish my 1 year. So I would like to bring to the officers Jerry Satowski's name to take the position of vice president for the balance of my unfinished term.
I'll make a motion,
Okay,
I'll say,
Patricia,
I'll make a
Second.
motion to
accept.
appoint Jerry Sukowski to vice president. Vacancy that exists for Gusto's unused year.
Thank you.
pretty good.
All right. Patricia,
The unexpired term.
unexpired term, yes.
Okay.
And Patricia seconded that motion. Is there any discussion on that motion? No? All right. Call the vote. This will be brought up at the executive board tomorrow and a delegate assembly next week.
Joanne,
Yes.
Dominic,
Yes.
Patricia,
Yes,
David, yes, Fausto,
Yes,
motion carries.
okay, good.
I have one thing to say. Will you please let Jerry know he needs to do a column beginning in May?
Yes, let him know.
He'll be the fourth one.
Yes.
And I guess we can use a picture from
From
somewhere.
when he just ran for office. He
They'll
just
use
ran
that.
for office.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll tell,
I also want to bring to the officers that James Bozos, that was elected as recording secretary, has stepped down. He has resigned from the position. He has handed in his resignation. Our CAM has accepted it, and a check was sent out to Sunbiz to remove him from our corporation. So I'm looking for someone to volunteer for that position. If anybody knows anybody, I'm open for suggestions. And I will bring that up tomorrow also. All right,
What are all the options we have for
what do you mean options?
to fill that?
This is an open call for candidates.
It's an open call for a candidate, so if I have more than two people, then there would have to be an election. A special election. If I only have one individual, then we'll go through the process of bringing it to the officers, executive board, and then the delegates. Because it is an elected 2-year term.
So would you like that call for candidates to go out and report?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm bringing it up here, so it stays in the minutes that we had that position open and that we have accepted his resignation.
Maybe we'll send it as a
What was the timeline involved in this?
What do you mean timeline?
From Mr. Borzos here, did he know ahead of time that he wasn't gonna run or?
he mentioned it to me a few days before and I told him.
he was already on the ballot and he couldn't.
That's what I said, right, that's what I said.
Maybe we could have always crossed him off the ballot.
Well,
Oh, could have, should have, we didn't. So,
The issue is he came in less than a week before and said, I can't do the job. I don't want to be elected. So
wasn't enough time to do.
So I guess officially, he never really, well, he did because he was elected.
He did accept
Right,
it.
he was elected, okay, he did accept that, he did put his bio in and stuff, so.
I don't think I would wanna get into this business of crossing people off ballots.
No.
Right, exactly that.
You either do it correctly or you don't. Yeah, we did it correctly.
Leave us alone.
And an open call for candidates couldn't be more fair.
Right, that's what I'm saying, it's an elected position, it's a 2-year term. Anybody, we're opening up to anybody that wants to run.
Should we have a time limit on the open sort of call?
I would say 30 days.
You know,
I think that's fair.
We would have the month of April, so that if you wanna, if it's one individual, we can go through it and we go through the process in April.
right.
If it's more, then we would have to have an election in May.
And I think, exactly, I think you have a couple of options here. One is for the board to review the candidates that come in
Right,
and let the officers appoint someone subject to
right,
get somebody, or simply have a special election.
right,
You're gonna have to find.
But that's what, you know, you don't wanna have it so open-ended, so that the minute you appoint somebody, someone go, oh, I would have run for that.
well, that's why I'm putting it out there.
Make
It,
a date.
it should be in the report, it's available online, I'm bringing it up
Right.
tomorrow at executive board. And I will bring it up on next Friday at delegate assembly,
See if steps up.
see if, whatever it is.
Yeah.
The other thing that we have, I've been working to put an outline together. The second Friday of every month from 9:30 till 11:30. We will, Carolyn will start making phone calls and we're going to invite 15 presidents. If the president can't come, the vice president can come and represent the building here. And it'll be having coffee with me. Okay? That'll be starting in the month of April. And we're gonna start in alphabetical order. So we'll be starting with Andover on. They'll come in, I have put an outline together of a program. That program might change as we're gonna try to update it. We're gonna try to give as much information to the associations as possible. Or guide them through wherever they can go. Starting in May. We'll have the officers on the second and on the third Friday of the month. Basically, the same outline will be given to anybody that wants to come into room C. Whether you're a unit owner, renter, whoever wants, if you can't make it on the second, you'll be able to come there. I will ask if you are a vice president and you have time. Or any officer that wants to come to that presentation, to be there to be able to ask questions. I made it between 9:30 and 11:30, I've spoken to WPRF. Eva has no issues with it, I told her that she might be invited to come and speak up, and as it develops. We will have guests coming in, whether it's from DVPR, if it's construction people, building department. Anybody that could offer as much information as possible. But we are going to have an outline and we're going to follow that outline. There seems to be a misconception that UCO doesn't do anything and we don't give any information. I'm gonna give them as much information as possible. And it might take a month or two for my outline to be filled in, but I think I've covered just about everything. And the presentation not only tells them what UCO does, what services we offer, but also what the building's responsibility is. We're gonna cover why should you have an attorney? Why do you wanna deal with a management company? Try to give them as much information, as much food for thought. And I'm also explaining the purpose of having 4 vice presidents here. That the village is divided into 4 quadrants. If you have a question, we're not gonna run your building. But you have a vice president, you can come in here and that vice president will help you through. I've also been updating myself on the UCO bylaws. I know that there's some questions of what we can do, what we can't do, and I will have some of that stuff underlined. And I will be making copies, so when somebody says, well, UCO should be doing this, I'm gonna say, no, it's not in our bylaws. We're here to offer help, we're not attorneys, but you should have an attorney on staff. So It's a program, it's a work in progress. I've been working on it for like the last 2 weeks, writing and rewriting. Finally, Carolyn yesterday actually put it together and it looks pretty good. Okay, again, I think the program will work. It's to get the people here, and we're gonna go back to the way David used to do it way back when Mary, right, used to make phone calls. It'll be personalized. She already printed out every president of every association, and there's gonna be a personal invite to come. And if anybody has any input, they wanna come in, they wanna sit down.
As soon as we finalize the topics for the morning meeting room C,
Mhm.
let's get it up on TV.
Absolutely.
You have your date,
Oh, yes.
you know, so as soon as we have a pretty
Yep.
good, and we can change it all the time, but let's get it out there.
Well, I was gonna type it all up, and then I said, well, but then if I have to make changes, I have to go home. That's why I asked Carolyn to do it. So we can add or subtract items as, I tried to cover the bullet points of what we do. Why they should come here, why they should have an attorney, why they should have a manager, which the last election has brought up that a lot of people not happy with what's going on. And I think if we just make them calm down and think about what the issues are, you know, Donald doesn't have all the answers. If you have a plumbing issue, you call a plumber to fix it, you know? Yes, Dominic?
I believe that there are many more officers of the buildings now than was 10 to 15 years ago when you did it the first time. They're all working in jobs and
Right.
they're not free to come in and.
Right.
So we're not gonna
Well,
have some that won't,
but I'm giving
but
them,
a lot that will.
Dominic, they're gonna have 2 bites at the apple every month,
Mhm.
starting in May. The first month of April, I gotta see how the outline works. I mean, it works for me, cause I'm in it, and it would work for all of us, cause we're in it every day. But I need to make a presentation in front of 15 people and see how they receive it. And I can adjust it so that when we do this in May, both whoever comes in May and whoever comes to that meeting will have the most amount of information possible. Okay, and I'm limiting it to an hour. That's what I figured, and then an hour for questions and answers. So that there's an interaction. I love being a teacher, I love speaking, I love telling you what to do, but you fall asleep after 10 minutes. So I gotta make sure that you're awake. And I've asked some of the officers, some people gave me some insights. Patricia put some stuff down, Stuart put some items down, I got some ideas from Ruth. And I try to incorporate it as much as possible to something that makes sense. Okay. I think that's one, yes,
You mentioned the presidents would be emailed.
no,
Each
they're
building
gonna get a phone call,
or phone.
personal
So
phone call.
if the president is Canadian, like
Right.
in my case, and he's
Right.
leaving in a week or two from now,
Right,
I'm now the vice president of
So-
Cambridge I, so will it be rolled over to you?
That
or will I
Carolyn
just
has
know?
been instructed if the vice president is not present or cannot be there. And ask the vice president to come so that the building is covered.
Okay, just,
Yes,
can I just
yes.
assume that I'm gonna come on that day then? On the second,
I don't,
wait until.
well,
the
you're
paperwork-
gonna get he's gonna get a phone call, you're gonna get a phone.
Oh, okay.
Okay, don't forget, we're starting with Andover, we're doing an alphabetical order.
Oh, so the first Friday is just gonna be Andover?
No, the first 15.
I don't know how many people are gonna be called, she's gonna be calling Andover A,
Yeah,
okay, so the first 15 will be Andover.
okay.
However, many of those are saying, yes, we'll be there, then she'll go to B, then she'll go to C. Okay, so you may not be there until
Months.
May or June, it
Wow.
all depends on the participation, you know?
Okay.
But that's why if you don't get called and you wanna come in May, you can come the third Friday and listen basically to the same presentation.
Okay.
But it's not limited to officers. I want unit owners to be able to know what they're entitled to, what the building should be doing for them.
I think it's an excellent idea. Excellent.
That's
That's fine.
anything else? I think I'm done. Did I miss anything?
Discussion?
General, yeah? Yeah,
There will be a vote for Jerry to become
tomorrow.
tomorrow,
Yeah.
but I can vote on next at the delegate assembly.
Yeah, she,
I vote
yeah,
That's the real vote.
that's the real vote,
Okay,
yeah,
all right, then.
yes.
So just vote me fast.
Oh, I'm sorry,
That's what I
yeah,
said, if the president can show.
yeah, if the president can't come, Carolyn will ask the vice president to attend. Okay, I mean, I don't wanna leave any association out, and she's gonna keep track of who she spoke to, who said they were coming. So if a building has an issue and they haven't come and they don't care to find out what they have to do, we treat them the same way. We'll give them a number, and like the government says, you're number 999, we'll call you when we're ready to help you,
Okay,
okay?
excellent.
Any, did I miss anything? I appreciate everybody's help, and I know that the last couple of weeks have been kind of hectic. Okay, and I'm also looking for, most of my committees have been filled up. I need someone to run the advisory committee. I have somebody that's willing to volunteer to do it on a temporary basis, but I will bring that up also tomorrow. David has offered to fill in temporarily. I would like, he's got enough to do, I would like to put somebody in there that's gonna follow through. Anything else, ladies and gentlemen? I'll entertain a motion.
Adjourn.
Thank you.
Thank you. You want the extra copy to pass out?